Alright, what is up everybody? I'm Parker and this is my new YouTube channel where I'm going to be talking about pretty much just The Walking Dead and other stuff. This is not sports related because some of y'all may know my sports channel that I post sports content on. But this is going to be my channel about The Walking Dead. So what I'm going to be doing in today's video is I'm going to be telling y'all Walking Dead characters that I think are very underrated. And y'all give me ideas of what y'all want me to talk about. I'll talk about anything Walking Dead related that y'all want me to talk about. Alright, for the first character that I think is very underrated in The Walking Dead is none other than Abraham Ford. I'm not gonna have figures for all of these, that's the only Walking Dead figure I own. Why I think Abraham is so underrated is because, one, he really deserves screen time, and two, I didn't hear anybody talk about him before I started watching The Walking Dead. So I looked up stuff about it and edits and all that, and I never once saw anything about Abraham. Like, I saw the character, but I didn't even know who he was. I didn't know how important he would be. And when I watched it, I realized how much shortened screen time he gets. And every scene with Abraham is just a bright scene in The Walking Dead. So that's why I find him underrated. It's just, like, people don't talk about him as much. Alright, for the next character that I think is very underrated is Paul Rovia, or Jesus. Then again, another reason why I think Jesus is so underrated is because of screen time. He doesn't get a lot of it. And in the comics, if you didn't know, Jesus actually lives to the end. And in the show, spoiler, he ends up dying in season 9 against the Whisperers, which was very shocking. I feel like the show could have did a lot more with Jesus alive than it did with him dead. I feel like he could have made later seasons a little bit more better than they were, which nothing wrong with the later seasons. I love them all, but he could have made them better than they were if he was still alive, because I feel like, Jesus just adds that dynamic role where if they got to kill to survive, and Jesus is the one, he wants to help all of them. He don't want people to die. He wants to help them so where they're all, neutral and not fighting against each other. So with the Commonwealth, I think that would have been really cool to see, like, what would he have done in that situation, especially with Aaron, because what if Jesus and Aaron got together like in the comics? Remember when Aaron and them, they were in the building with Toby, like with the Commonwealth, with Negan's group, and Aaron killed Toby. How do you think Jesus would react and stuff? Would Jesus like yell out to Toby's name that Aaron was coming up right behind him? Would he? I just mentioned this character, but Aaron is also another really underrated Walking Dead character. People don't know Aaron. There's many like references to Comic Rick with Aaron. With his arm. With his spike ball on his arm and stuff. Rick had a prosthetic arm just like Aaron in the comics, because Rick loses his hand in the comics. And Aaron is he also deserves more screen time. Like in season 11, I didn't really see him as much as I wish I would have. But like when Aaron like is a good fighter. Like when he killed Toby in season 11, that was just a great scene. That was awesome. I love seeing that at Aaron, because Aaron can get mad. He has that fire in him. But I wish we would have just saw more of Aaron. And maybe I kind of wish Aaron would have died actually, because Clash PR brought up a good point. Like, we may never see some of these characters again, so the finale should have killed off more people, which I do agree with. So, and if Aaron died, I feel like they could have executed his death very well. Alright, another underrated character, this time a villain, Lance Hornsby, the villain in season 11. Well, I guess you could say side villain, because Pamela's the main villain, but the reason he's underrated is Lance should have been the main villain. That would have made it a lot better. Like, nobody wants an old lady as a villain. Was she a good villain? No. Lance, though, like, he was just so persuasive and manipulative. Is that a word? Okay. But he was just so persuasive with what he does. Like, you don't know if he's good, you don't know if he's bad, you don't find out until he's bad, and really bad until later in the season. So yeah, I think Lance is underrated because I feel like he should have been the main villain. And finally, the two most underrated characters in The Walking Dead, in my opinion, is Beta and Alpha. I'm putting them together as a pair. And Beta and Alpha are both really great villains, and there's no denying it. I mean, you can say all you want, they're great villains. I'll explain that in a second. But Beta is he's such a fun character to watch him. Like, he's huge, he's scary, he's such a good fighter. I mean, that fight with Daryl in the hospital on the episode Choke Point, that was just such a good scene. That was probably one of my favorite scenes in The Walking Dead. Just why he's a tank. Watching him on screen is awesome. And why Alpha is such a good villain is because people hate her. People hate her. Not because because she's what she did. She killed off the most main characters ever been killed off in one episode. Probably killed the most characters in The Walking Dead. And she was just, you were scared what she was going to do when she was on screen. She played her role perfectly. You were scared what she was going to do when she was on the screen. You didn't know when she was going to kill people. Just the way, like, you know, she moved her head. Like, that's just horrifying. Like, you'll never know what she's going to do. That, I feel like she played that out perfectly. Alpha is, in my opinion, is the most underrated character in The Walking Dead, because Beta and Alpha get hated on a lot. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think of this. Do you like these style of videos? If you do, I'm going to keep making them. If you don't, let me know and tell me stuff I should change. Without further ado, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.